Okay, so here we go. I'm going to skim through this pretty quickly, hopefully. The patch notes are out, and I'm going to be going over those next, but I kind of wanted to go over them in this and tack that on to the poison stuff that I went over. So, yeah, here we go. So this will be kind of a TL, didn't watch, didn't read, didn't talk as well. But global gem levels, from what I can tell here, caster-oriented one-handed weapons will now have the roll. Some new modifiers, they grant +1 to all fire, cold, lightning, physical, or chaos gems. Now, they're pretty much, from what I got here, they're removing the craft is the big deal here. And they don't really have anything to replace it. So there is currently no replacement for the chaos recipe, rather. I guess they do have the remove the low level crafting recipe to add +1 level of socketed fire. Okay. This recipe replaced with a similar one that applies to added fire, cold, lightning, damage. Okay, that's what it is. And there's nothing for the chaos. So, oops. Yeah, we'll see how that feels, leveling wise. But I wonder if this is going to be a meta shift for racing is going to be the big thing here. But as far as the global modifier thing, I think that is awesome. Now you can just go ahead and get some pretty cool chess pieces with some awesome plus weapons, and we're going to see a lot more dual wielding, and I think staffs for spells are going to be, I don't know if they're going to be as big anymore, but we'll see. And two, if you do put them in a staff, the pluses, I don't know if there's going to be any global pluses on any other gear, so I mean we'll have to see how that works. The physical dagger unique that they showed off, I'm pretty interested in that. I think that'll be but anyway, moving on. Traps and mines. The biggest thing here is the Shaper and Elder modifier granted +1 traps thrown and mines placed. They're taking that away. Too strong. Fair enough. It is pretty strong. But they've included a couple of new modifiers from various kinds of crafting to improve trap and mine itemization. As an example, the Essence of Zeal now rolls a trap and mine throw speed modifier on belt. Two-handed incursion weapons with trap damage modifiers now have values higher than one-handed incursion weapons. So that's pretty cool. Here's the big one for me. Damage over time. I really wanted the poison stuff. So this is actually really huge for damage over time, period. I'll go ahead and skip down to here, talking about the burning thing real quick. Mini passives that increase burning damage, poison damage, bleed damage now have an equivalent damage over time multiplier bonuses. That is huge. So we'll have to see exactly which nodes and how many of them, but I think burning is up there now. We've got ignite builds back, I think, and bleed builds are just going to skyrocket. They're already pretty solid, and having that, and then the poison damage stuff is also going to skyrocket. So poison's really strong already. Bleed's pretty strong. Burning, not so much. But now I think going to be solidly viable, insane, and possibly insane. Perfect Agony is getting changed, and how crits work. So the 50% more damage by default for elements from critical strikes. Similar to the unmodified critical hit damage. The only way to modify this value is to take Perfect Agony. Now elements from critical strikes have plus 50% damage to damage over time multiplier by default, which will be additive, which that's the huge thing there, additive with damage over time multipliers from other sources. That is huge. Then the other thing is Perfect Agony lets critical strikes also apply to element damage over time from critical strikes at 50% of their value, which is more potent than the previous value of 30%. So that's pretty legit. And then, yeah, right here, investing in it is going to be insane. Crits with poisons and stuff. You won't have to have nearly the amount of poisons to get like an assassin build than say a pathfinder, and you should be able to get the damage, which is pretty cool that they're going to be different. I'm actually going to probably try doing some kind of binos build, I think. We'll see how that works. Let's see, anything else too crazy? They're talking about ignites over time there. That's pretty cool, similar to the cold damage over time, which is going to be pretty legit. All of the burning changes, we reviewed the burning damage skills and adjusted value. Righteous Fire, in particular, has received some mechanical changes. It deals smaller portions of your health as fire damage to enemies around you, but has an additional burning damage value that increases as the gym level. So that's now minions. Minions are a big deal here. Minions across the board look pretty awesome. Let's see. All minions have had their accuracy increased, which is really awesome. We'll have an 80% chance to hit at level 84, a level 84 enemy. If you have no minion accuracy modifiers, which that's pretty legit. That's going to be real easy to get that to a solid value now. Golems have all been reviewed and adjusted to make them more viable. Make more varieties of golems have competitive levels of power. Chaos Lightning and Stone Golems have been improved in various ways. Now I'm kind of really curious to see exactly what they're going to do there with that. Yeah, well, hopefully we see some golem builds come back into the meta this league because of that change. The minion and totem elemental resist support gem has been changed to elemental army support. It no longer applies to totems, but lets supported minions apply a -10 exposure based on their highest elemental damage dealt. That's Raging Spirits created will attempt to attack the enemy first. Oh yeah, that's right. The Raging SRS, they already said that. SRS will just go attack whoever you're pretty much casting them on. Convocation shortdown has been shortened. Cool. So now that's just across the board. Pretty legit. Desecrate has its cooldown removed, which is amazing, and now has a shorter cast time. Also amazing. I'm probably going to be trying out a Detonate Dead build at some point, and yeah, that's super huge. I wasn't expecting that even when planning to do a Detonate Dead build. So, let's see. Uh-oh. Please tell me. Okay. Oops. But this is awkward. I am going to have to clip this then. Showed this stream dying, so I was questioning whether it did or not. Man, I lost my momentum. Okay, offerings are now more reliable and easier to manage. They now have a higher base duration. Okay, that's an additional second for each corpse. Will they show up actually without having to have the thing that have them affected? I'd like to know what their time is, even if they're not affected. But Dead Reckoning Unique Jewel can now turn up to 15 skeleton warriors into mages. Cool. Up from 5. That's pretty legit. Is now limited to 1. Multiple copies of the jewel. That was unnecessary. Was an unnecessary cost power provided. Let's see. Been changed crafting modifiers. Okay, we already know this. But that's gonna be pretty legit with the new wand and stuff. Yeah, nothing too crazy there. Here's the big one: mana for spellcast. So they changed Warlord's Mark so that you couldn't do the leech thing. So then you have to get it on boots and whatnot. But now they're wanting to kind of have Mana Flask do something. So the biggest thing is recovering more mana and having more uses available for Mana Flask here. reliable for longer encounters. We've introduced a selection of new modifiers for Mana Flask. Enduring modifier that lets the Mana Flask remain after reaching full mana. That is huge for Mind Over Matter builds. Yeah, that is going to be huge. Now you're not just going to probably use the Eldritch Battery, although that still would be a pretty cool thing. You could probably do some kind of combo with it if you really wanted. I might try something around that, just because it kind of has pretty good synergy, especially with the Devouring Diadem even. If I need more health, then I can go ahead and reserve some mana and have a little extra. But Clarity has also been changed to grant higher values of mana regeneration, which is also amazing. I really like the regen kind of thing going on here. And yeah, the flash changes to have like one of the nodes. I think it says here that it'll remove one of the random elements, stuff like that. So Mana Flask look pretty great. I'm pretty hyped to try some kind of spellcaster using a Mana Flask. I might go back and try my Stormcall character again at some point, or maybe use another spell in its place. Kind of do the same kind of build. The melee, Cyclone benefited from a combination of melee range area, so they nerfed it, of course, but also Pulverize support now provides increased area instead of more area effect. That's kind of a bummer, so rip a lot of the super area from Pulverize stuff. I'm kind of sad that this is happening because I really want to do an Earthquake build. Did not get to do that. Other than that, they've increased the base damage of multi-strike while lowering the bonuses from the second and third swing. So the skill is much less punitive if you're performing the other two attacks, or one or two attacks rather. So you don't have to do that as much, which will make the build that I did feel probably a little bit better, so that's pretty cool. Range Tornado Shot has been outperforming other bow attack skills, so we've changed the enchantment to be 1 instead of 2. Cool. They've also made improvements to how all projectiles select targets when chaining. That's kind of cool. Lightning Arrow and added cold damage to Ice Shot to help them scale better. That's pretty cool. I'm glad those are getting some buffs. I loved my Lightning Arrow type builds. We'll see how that continues. I don't think Lightning Arrow will probably have its single target place though ever. That's kind of rip. But I can dream. Passive tree changes. Mind passives are getting pretty good stuff. Damage over time and poison clusters. We already know about that. Flask effect cluster near the witch into 4 different passive clusters, granting flask effect alongside other effects. I'm really curious to see what that actually is. They've raised the base radius of all additional aura skills. Added a new power charge cluster similar to endurance and frenzy charges. Added in 3.7. That's going to be really cool. I like that. Let's see what else we got. Increased attributes have been moved. Oh, they're no longer in the radius of any jewel socket. Interesting. Well, Tempered Flesh and Transcendent Flesh now have 7% critical strike multiplier for unallocated strength and radius, up from 5. Okay, so that's the big one right there. Got it. Okay, fair enough. Oh yeah, then they did a bunch of changes to Ascendancies here, so let's jump into that. Hierophant, like all the mana mechanics, be pretty cool. Offensively powerful for a character who is heavily mana invested now. That's pretty legit. Elementalist had its golem path adjusted, provided much more power to a player that's invested in golems, which I think that's pretty cool. Like I said, I kind of want to see more golems coming out. And also, Beacon of Ruin now grants increased effect of non-damaging elements. I kind of would like to see it do some Ignite stuff, or have something for Ignite, but I know they have talked against that in the past. Let's see, what do we got? Raider, I really feel like the improvements here are pretty lackluster. But we'll receive more changes in the future. Cool. Bow Bastion no longer grants 40 energy shield regenerated per second at all times, granting more reliable recovery, especially at lower levels. That's kind of cool. Chieftain now provides 25% to fire damage over time multiplier. Ooh. Well, speaking of burning damage and stuff, I think that's going to be it right there. Berserker and Slayer, a bit too generically powerful for attack builds. Yeah, they shifted the 8% crit down to 7.5, which is still okay. You know, they could have been a lot harsher on that. And they value of attack and movement speed reduced by 10%, which again is still stacks with onslaught. So that was pretty insane actually. And the Crave the Slaughter no longer grants chance to deal double damage, with this bonus being moved Warbringer. That's kind of cool. Used a Warcry recent. I might have to check that out. Trickster's Ghost Dance passive was providing a bit too much defensive. Wow, they're nerfing it again. Feels bad, man. And the Ascended passive has many of their stuff adjusted. I know they're doing stuff with the Necromancer and things. That'll be cool. Veld modifiers, number of changes, unlocking meld modifiers more easier. Modifiers grant only buy items from specific syndicate members, now require half as many. That's pretty cool. Modifiers found on less common item types or that are limited to only one or more or two item types. So the thing is with this, I'm glad they're kind of doing this. Again, I don't think the game should be balanced around Soul to Self-Found, but Soul to Self-Found, this kind of stuff was a big oof. In Trade League though, you could definitely play around with the trade section of this website and actually get modifiers pretty easily without too much of an investment. So that was a big trick you could do, but again, having them a little bit easier, I'll take it. Flask modifiers unveiled only from unique flask from the Syndicate Mastermind now only require a single. Yes, awesome. That's what I was looking for, was a single one. Cool. Wouldn't be necessarily for a character to learn every single crafting recipe each league, but want to make it easier to get. Okay. They don't. That's one thing I was curious about. What's their mentality on learning the recipes? What else we got here? Monster accuracy has been lowered. 3.7's accuracy / evasion calculation change resulted in monsters being noticeably more likely to hit a character with medium investment. Oof. So, okay, cool. So evasion could be coming back. That'd be pretty cool. We've also reduced the changes in the league mechanic that drops random uniques, drop a league specific unique. This ended up being the most common source league specific uniques in some leagues. Yep. I'll kind of take that, I guess. I like to see some chase uniques really be super hard chase uniques, but that might be an unpopular opinion. We've increased the speed that the breach expands in-game breach domains. This lets you clear through a breach domain faster than before. We've increased the amount of time that. Okay. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, the pure breach stones. There was one that I got that I wish I was streaming at the time. I was just like, I'll go ahead and do the pure breach stone, and literally, the time actually ran out on me, and I was right there at the edge, just spinning with my cyclone. Like there's no faster. I couldn't have gone any faster, and I literally lost it. So that was kind of awkward. So if they're actually gonna speed the spread out, that'll be awesome. That'll make that. Like, that was just an impossible breach. I couldn't have done it, so I had to buy an actual breach stone, again, to do it. We made adjustments to large variety of unique items based on their use. That's pretty cool. They keep doing that. I'm all for it. Blasphemous Grasp now gives +4% to damage over time multiplier for elements. Breach Elder item. Whoa. Holy balls, dude. That is huge. Huh. I'm gonna have to look into those. Yeah, that's pretty legit. I was gonna use for poison. I was gonna try to use Numises, but I think I'm gonna be using those. That's crazy, dude. Okay. Well, anyway, that is it for the manifesto. So, thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe, all that. Have a good one. Peace.